Hi dear friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings. Welcome to your favorite cricket show, the Cricket Happening show today. Well, in this Cricket Happening show, what we are going to look at is the third day's play in the first test match between Pakistan and New Zealand, where New Zealand definitely conceded a 304 run lead to Pakistan, and Pakistan at close of play were 15 for no loss. That means they were 319 runs ahead going into the fourth day. And also for New Zealand, they were all out for 262, but there was something that New Zealand would be very happy about, and that was Tom Latham going on to his maiden test century. That is something that New Zealand would be pretty happy about. So Latham played very well. He negotiated the pace bowlers and the spinners in equal measure, and he went on to score his maiden test century. So I'll be talking about the third day's play, and then I would also do a preview of the Bangladesh versus Zimbabwe, which is the final test match, which is coming up tomorrow at Chittagong. And for Bangladesh, what is more important is that after suffering a real drought as far as test matches are concerned, whether Zimbabwe can actually stop Bangladesh from actually clean sweeping them tomorrow, and Bangladesh should be hoping that with Shakib's help they could actually clean sweep Zimbabwe tomorrow at Chittagong in the third test match. So first let's head on to the Sheikh Zayed Stadium here in Abu Dhabi, where New Zealand resumed at their overnight score of they were, as you know, Tom Latham and McCullum were in the middle, and they had realized 15 runs yesterday, and then it all started with Rahat Ali bowling superbly. In fact, the morning spell that Rahat Ali bowled with the new ball was something which was really something very good, because he really stuck to a very good line, not giving batsmen any chances to actually score off, and he kept both Latham and McCullum pretty quiet by moving the ball both ways. And as you know, Rahat Ali, as I said, he's really improving a lot, because first we saw him against Australia put up a very good show, and now against New Zealand he not only put up a good show with the ball by worrying the batsman, but also the returns were there. Rahat Ali seems to be the most improved bowler according to me as far as Pakistan are concerned, as Rahat Ali returned figures of 17 overs, 10 maidens, 22 runs and 4 wickets, and he was the one who in fact Zulfikar Babar, as you know, was inducted pretty early by Misbah-ul Haq into the picture, and Zulfikar Babar definitely got a big wicket when he actually got rid of a very important batsman for New Zealand, and that was the New Zealand captain Brendan McCullum, as he was caught by Yunus Khan of the bowling of Zulfikar Babar for 18 with 2 boundaries, so which made the score 33 for 1. And then Kane Williamson came in, and Kane Williamson was consumed by a beautiful Yorker length delivery from Rahat Ali, which went on to go and roll onto the stumps even before. He was really beaten by pace of the Rahat Ali delivery, and Kane Williamson, trying to dig it out, was himself seeing the ball actually roll onto the stumps, and the bails fell. So he was gone, bowled by Rahat Ali for 3, which made it 38 for 2. At the other end, Latham was stoutly defending himself, and when the score reached 47, Ross Taylor was also a victim, as Ross Taylor, trying to actually sweep Zulfikar Babar, swept into the hands of Asad Shafiq, and he was gone for naught, which made the score 47 for 3. In came in Anderson to join Latham. From 47 for 3, there was a recovery for New Zealand, which came in the form of Tom Latham and Anderson. Tom Latham, he was looking confident while playing Rahat Ali or Imran Khan, even the spinners. And in fact, Misbah-ul Haq, the Pakistan captain, had a great field. In fact, having the luxury of having scored 566, he had the luxury of actually having 6 persons close to the bat when New Zealand were batting. And I thought Tom Latham should be really credited for playing very well, using his feet against the spinners. He was driving well, he was cutting well, and till lunch Tom Latham and Corey Anderson had to really see to it that they really guard their wickets, even though they played some strokes at some loose deliveries, but they had to really, it was really tough going, and it was all about survival before lunch, and that's what Tom Latham and Corey Anderson did. But once after lunch, we saw there was a sudden explosion of runs, as probably under instructions from the New Zealand dressing room. After coming back from lunch, we saw some runs really flowing, as Tom Latham latched on to anything short pitched or pulled, and he started showing some aggression by pulling well, cutting well, and also driving well. Corey Anderson, well, he also started hitting a lot of boundaries, and suddenly there was some real momentum into this New Zealand innings. But when the score reached 130, that was the time the fourth wicket fell. But it was a very good partnership between Tom Latham and Corey Anderson, and the score had moved on to 130, and that was the time when everything was looking like everything was totally settling down for New Zealand. There was a wicket which was coming. Rahat Ali was brought on for his second spell, and he immediately responded by castling Corey Anderson, who actually probably attempting a booming drive through the offside, has his stumps shattered for 48 with 8 boundaries, which made the score 130 for 4. Neesham too decided that it's better to really play some strokes, but he was also a goner, as he was trying one too many now, to trying to lock Mohammad Hafiz down the ground. Sarfraz Ahmed behind the stumps did the rest. He was gone stumped by Sarfraz Ahmed of the bowling of Mohammad Hafiz for 11, which made the score 150 for 5. But Latham was there at the crease, and Latham luckily got a very good partner in B.J. Watling, who is a very reliable batsman nowadays, and they both put on 65 runs for the 6th wicket. As you know, B.J. Watling is a very compact batsman. He likes to stay at the crease, and that's what he was doing. That enabled Tom Latham to play his strokes, and finally Tom Latham brought up his maiden Test century as he raised both his hands aloft to really thank the crowd there. And Tom Latham was gone after making his maiden Test match century, as Rahat Ali, who was bowling pretty well, went on to claim Tom Latham LBW for 103 with 13 fours, and the mainstay of the New Zealand innings was going back to the pavilion with his score rating 215 for 6. Still, they had a long way to go as far as the 366 follow-on mark was concerned. Watling was there in the middle, but unfortunately for Watling, Mark Craig was run out for 1, and we also saw Tim Southee being taken by Sarfraz Ahmed behind the stumps of the bowling of a very impressive Rahat Ali for naught. That made the score 219 for 8. But once again there was a partnership. This was for the 9th wicket. It was between Ish Sodhi, who showed a lot of batting ability. I thought he really started really giving good company to the wicketkeeper batsman B.J. Watling, and both of them pushed the score on to 262, with Sodhi also playing some very good strokes for the spinners. And Yasir Shah finally had his reward. It was a solitary wicket for Yasir Shah, as Ish Sodhi was bowled by Yasir Shah for 25 with 5 fours, and then finally B.J. Watling was the final man out when B.J. Watling was LBW bowled Zulfikar Babar for 42 with 4 boundaries. Trent Boult remained not out on naught, and that was it. 262 all out New Zealand, thus conceding a very big lead to Pakistan of 304 runs in the first innings. Bowling, well, let me tell you, the Pakistan bowling was very disciplined, and Rahat Ali was the man who was leading it from the center. I would say splendid bowling figures. I mean, you can't say these are Test match bowling figures. He bowls, for a pace bowler, bowling 17 overs. He had 10 maidens. He just gave away 22 runs and 4 wickets. And that's the reason I say that Rahat Ali, according to me, is the most improved Pakistan Test bowler here. Imran Khan, 11 overs, 2 maidens, none for 29, also bowled well. And Zulfikar Babar, this is something which has become Zulfikar Babar's routine. 27.3 overs, 5 maidens, 79 runs and 3 wickets. Mohammad Hafiz, 15 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 60. And Yasir Shah just getting the wicket of Sodhi there. 17 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 65. So 262 all out. New Zealand thus conceding a big lead of 304 runs in the first innings to Pakistan. And Pakistan, well, Misbah-ul-Haq, as he did against Australia, once again decided that he wouldn't be enforcing the follow-on, and he decided to play on. And the second innings, there were 7 overs left, the 6 overs bowled before close of play on the third day here in Abu Dhabi. And the openers, as we all know, that Pakistan are a batsman short because Ahmed Shahzad, one does not know whether he will bat, but the news is that he is out of this Test series. So one does not know. I don't think Ahmed Shahzad will probably bat in this particular Test match, and he's also out of this Test series too with a minor skull fracture, which is unfortunate. But Mohammad Hafiz and Azhar Ali opened the innings. Mohammad Hafiz was not out on 5 at close of play with 1 boundary, which he stroked through the offside. Azhar Ali was not out on 9, and Pakistan were 15 for no loss at stumps on day 3 of this first Test match against New Zealand at the Sheikh Zayed Stadium in Abu Dhabi. 15 for no loss, that essentially meant that Pakistan were 319 runs ahead. So it will be interesting to see how long Pakistan go tomorrow, whether they would bat throughout the whole day, or probably at tea time they would probably have a cushion of probably 600 odd runs and probably declare the innings closed. That's what I reckon that Misbah-ul-Haq would do, and probably give New Zealanders the final session to bat on. Well, one has to wait and watch. As far as the bowling was concerned, Trent bowled 3 overs, 1 made and none for 6 for him. Tim Saudi bowled 2 overs for 4 runs, and each Sodhi one over of leg spin we saw, in which he gave away 4 runs. So that's the match situation as far as the third day is concerned. Going into the fourth day, Pakistan are really very well placed. New Zealand, the onus is on New Zealand to pick up some wickets tomorrow, and the ball is new, so definitely with the dew factor coming into the picture, I'm sure the New Zealand bowlers would like to, pace bowlers would like to show something that they are capable of tomorrow. One probably would be, New Zealand would be thinking that Trent Bolt and Tim Saudi could actually provide them some quick breakthroughs tomorrow. One has to wait and watch. So that is the match situation as far as the first Test match is concerned between Pakistan and New Zealand. And now, as you know, tomorrow there is also one more Test match which is coming up, which is going to start. That will be the final Test match of the series between Bangladesh and Zimbabwe. For Bangladesh, what is more important is not only winning that, because if they win that, they would be doing a clean sweep of the series. Now, this also enables Bangladesh to do some experimentation. They have already dropped Shamsur Rahman, and they have brought in Imrul Case. I'm also told that Shahadat Hussain is going to be rested for this match, and they are going to bring in Shafiul Islam. Probably this is the confidence. Not only that, because since they already won the series, I think there's nothing wrong in doing some experimentation. And also Shogat Ahum would be there in the team, because he got a 50, as you know, he's an all-rounder. So Anamul Haq has to probably wait. Well, for Bangladesh, well, everything is going well. The batsmen are shaping up well. Tamim Iqbal has really changed his approach as far as Test matches are concerned. We saw how he was nurdling, how he got to his Test run after batting for quite a long time. Imrul Case is the newly inducted into the Bangladesh stadium. Is a good opener. Mominul Haq has made some 50s. Mahmudullah has already shown some form. Mushfiqur Rahim, according to me, the captain, is the one probably tomorrow in this third Test match. One would be hoping that Mushfiqur Rahim gets into some good form, probably scores a century. Shakib Al Hasan, well, we all know that he's one of the, for me, he's one of the greatest all-rounders as far as world cricket is concerned, because to have a unique record in the last Test match, where he made a century and take 10 wickets in the match, and join the likes of great all-rounders of yesteryear, like the former Pakistani all-rounder Imran Khan and former England all-rounder Ian Botham, that really says something about Shakib Al Hasan. We all know he's a great cricketer, one of the greatest cricketers, definitely playing international cricket. Shogat Ahum, the international all-rounder, the all-rounder, and Jubair Hussain, the random leg spinner, and they have the pace. As Shafiul Islam would be playing tomorrow, and Tajul Islam, they also have some good variety in their spin, and this Bangladeshi batting is looking very composed. I think they have a real thorough blend now. They have a leg spinner, they have a left arm spinner, and it's very good. Probably once Sohail Ghazi comes in, they would also have some good variety in this Bangladeshi team, like having like even a right arm off spinner, which is very, very important for international cricket. Zimbabwe, the pressure is definitely on them because they have to really, really do something. Probably they can save some face by winning the test match, but again, Zimbabwe has found that spin is something that they are finding it pretty difficult to deal against. But we are definitely seeing that Zimbabwe definitely had a good game with Hamilton Masakadza scoring a wonderful century. He played superbly. Then we had Sikandar Raza is a very, very talented player from Zimbabwe, and one only hopes that Sikandar Raza could show his wares tomorrow. Brian Chari on his debut in the previous test showed that he is a compact player, and he showed a lot of good match temperament and stuck it out there. So he would be hoping to improve upon that performance that he had in the first test match. Brendan Taylor, the captain, who is another one who is the real key according to me as far as Zimbabwe is concerned, because Brendan Taylor is the best player of spin in the Zimbabwe team, and being the captain, the onus is definitely on him. And Brendan Taylor definitely, if at all Zimbabwe has to avoid a clean sweep, I think Brendan Taylor has to come up with the goods tomorrow in this third test match. And Regis Chakabva, well, he will be going into in this particular test match with lots of confidence. He has just scored a maiden test century, and he's also the wicketkeeper of the team. And I think Zimbabwe have probably found an answer to a wicketkeeper batsman in their tests now, as far as Regis Chakabva is concerned. Craig Irvine is the new cap there. Craig Irvine will be playing tomorrow. He's a very, very wonderful, and he has some very good experience in English county cricket. Elton Chigumbra, he's bowling well, but also one would expect Elton Chigumbra to actually fill in as a very good all-rounder. He's very good with the bat, but whether Chigumbra can put up some good performances tomorrow, and I mean in this particular third test match. And then Malcolm Waller, who bowled well, he got the 4 wickets in that previous test match. Is also looking good. He's also a useful bat too. And then the pace bowling is looking pretty sharp with Dinesh Panyangra and Tendai Chatara leading the way, with Natsai Mashangwe, the right arm leg spinner, who looked impressive in the last test match, also getting a good opportunity to show what he's capable of. So all in all, I think it is all about Bangladesh trying to go for a clean sweep, and Zimbabwe preventing Bangladesh from making a clean sweep of the series. Well, all in all, it looks to me to be a very, very interesting test in the offing, which is coming up tomorrow at the Sheikh Zayed Chowdhury Stadium here in Chittagong. And a bit of a history as far as Chittagong is concerned is that there are lots of runs being scored. One would remember that the Sri Lankan cricket player Kumar Sangakkara scored a triple century on this ground, his first triple century. Well, dear fans, friends and subscribers, one only hopes that there's a lot of batting available, but one has the feeling, after seeing how Zimbabwe have been struggling in spin, one gets the feeling that this pitch might be doctored to get some spin on. So it will be interesting to see how both the teams approach this particular test match, which is coming up tomorrow. Well, dear fans and subscribers, on this note, it's time for me to conclude the Cricket Happening show and leave you all. I hope you all liked my report on the Pakistan-New Zealand test match, as well as the preview of the Bangladesh-Zimbabwe game, which is coming up tomorrow. Your host Ram will be there with you to share those cricketing moments that happened, that would be happening, or that probably would have happened on those particular test matches. Until then, it's goodbye from host Ram Studios. Thank you.